Welcome to this episode of the Smart Leaders Sell podcast. I'm Jessica Lorimer, sales coach and leadership expert, and I am really excited to dig down into today's episode. Okay, so today we are talking January roundups because let's face it, if we're not on track in January, then the rest of the year can have a tendency to get a little bit screwy. So today we are making sure that you are asking all of the right questions to assess whether you really did what you needed to do in January, and if you did, how you can exceed your own expectations, even if they are higher than mine when I am shoe shopping. Or if you didn't, how you can start putting things into practice and making up for it in the other months of the year so that you can still have the epic 2019 that you are looking for. Yay! Imagine me throwing confetti over my desk right now, because if I had some, that is definitely what I'd be doing. Firstly though, if you haven't heard about it already, I am running a webinar. It is tomorrow. You will get to see my face. I'm not sure if that's a selling point or not, but it is called Create Your $1 Million Revenue Stream, and it is being held live tomorrow. And I know the title is a little bit, but I honestly promise you that you will walk away knowing how to create your $1 million revenue stream that will work for your business. So hopefully I will see your lovely face tomorrow. Make sure that you head into the show notes. You can grab the link, you can sign up. It is absolutely free. And unlike the majority of the webinars out there, it's not going to be like 35 minutes of me talking about, my dog, because let's face it, Max is always on the podcast. Why would I need to? It will be actionable, it will be practical, and we will be spending 45 lovely minutes together, and you will leave knowing how to build out your $1 million revenue stream for 2019. Anywho, January. Okay, let's just take a second to kind of, I don't know, do we honor January? Is it like a thing where we're like, oh, January, that was So for me, January personally was really interesting because obviously Sam left for another deployment on the 5th of January. We actually got 3 whole more days than expected together. And then he was deployed for 3 whole days before they told him he was going to be home a month later than expected. So, it evens out. But for me, January is always one of those months where I have such good intentions. I'm raring to go in January. Trouble is though, often so are other people. And that means that I get really caught up quite a lot in other people's stuff. Like I don't always take the time out that I maybe wanted to work on my own business. And I get caught up in a lot of client delivery, in a lot of, working with clients to find New Year's sales strategies, doing all that kind of thing, instead of sitting down and batch recording content and, writing sales pages and doing all the non-sexy stuff you kind of have to focus on to make your own business work. So what's always been really helpful for me over the last 3 years is every year I've sat down at the end of January on the final day and I've assessed what actually went well and what do I need to do more of. So if you are somebody like me who set yourself pretty big goals for 2019 and you don't really know if you're on track yet, this is the episode to help you get back on track, know what you're doing, and stop wasting time on stuff that doesn't work. Consider it my loving kick in the pants for January. And if you are thinking, oh my goodness, this is a little bit terrifying, the ladies on the Impact and Income Implementation Weekend, they just had a whole weekend of me doing this to them at the Ritz, where we were like, so all those big goals, like how are we making that happen? And they spent a whole weekend actually implementing the stuff that they needed to get done in January to map out the rest of their year. And whilst they went home a little bit like, oh my goodness, my brain is fried and I've done so much work and also drunk so much Prosecco, they are now planned out and feeling really good about where they're going. So let's get you to that feeling really good point and getting you moving for the final time for 2019 inspiration. So January does run away with us quite quickly, and really there are only 3 things that you actually need to be focusing on to make sure that you're on track and staying on track for 2019. Now the first one obviously that we have to talk about is revenue, because sales kind of keeps your business alive. So if you didn't already divide your main end year money goal into 12 months, so 12 different monthly amounts that you need to make, do that now. Hit pause, work out what your monthly amount is, and then look at January. Like, did you in January make your monthly amount needed, or did you not? Now, January can be kind of tricky because actually it's a really good time for sales. Like, it's new year, new start. Everybody's looking to change their lives. They're looking to invest in different things. So for the majority of people, it is a really good time for sales. But if you're somebody who had an amazing December and actually spent most of January doing client delivery and not much sales, you might not have leveraged this month as well as you could have on the sales front. Not to worry, okay? If you didn't leverage January, if you had a target and you wanted to make, let's say 10K for January and you only made 7, firstly, pat yourself on the back. You made money. Your business is still working. Yay. That's a good thing. You know, typically January is a pretty kind of month. And so we can easily get caught up in all the things we didn't do. But actually, if your business made money, you should be celebrating. And then we need to look at actually moving your money into the other months of the year. So now that you are a little bit off track in January on the financial side, you need to start putting that revenue that you need to make up into other months of the year. Now, I just stick it into February and March because it's just much easier. And that way I know that I'm still on track to hit my Q1 goals. But if you like to do it a bit differently and you think, actually, you know, I know, for example, that September is always a really good month in my business, then you might want to move it into a month when you automatically know that year on year you're going to be more profitable anyway, and just start playing with those projected revenues, okay? That'll help you keep on track for revenue this year and make sure that you're not super overwhelmed, that you're not stressing out if you haven't hit all the numbers, but that you do have a clear plan going forward and that you're not just thinking, oh, well, January's done, so can't make that goal anymore. The second thing you want to be thinking about is your brand. Okay, so again, brand building, audience building, January is a good time for it because, again, everyone's doing new starts. They're looking for new people to follow. They're looking for new books to read. They're looking for new blogs to consume. They're looking for new podcasts to listen to. And if you are one of those people and you are a brand new January listener, it's really exciting to have you here. Thank you for lending me your ears on the regular. I know that we're going to get to know each other and really enjoy each other's company over the next 12 months. So what did you do to build your brand in January? What worked? What didn't work? What did you find easy? What are you actually going to continue with? Because in this vein of new year, new start, when we look at audience building, that typically tends to be the area that we experiment most with. So January is the month where lots of people will have launched a podcast. They'll have written blogs, they'll experiment with Instagram, they'll be on a different social media platform. So if they're usually a LinkedIner, they'll be all over Facebook. And we try new things. We perhaps try advertising, we try different influencer networks, giving away free training, summits, all that kind of stuff. So at the end of January, it's actually a really good time to step back and think, okay, what worked? What helped me actually build my audience? Was it the summits that I appeared on? Was it the podcasts that I recorded that I was a guest on? Was it the fact that I batched out my content? So actually in January, I didn't do anything, but turns out my batch content was so shareable that people went out there and they talked about it, and I increased my email list by doing nothing. Really look at that, because it can be really tempting to think that you can just experiment for the whole year. And actually that's how people end up wasting a lot of money. That's where people's audience budgets eat them out of house and home, because they spend so much on audience building and experimenting with audience building, and they don't get the results they're looking for. So really take some time to sit down and look at, okay, what worked on the brand building, on the audience building front in January? And by that, we mean what has led to quality leads landing in my ecosystem, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, any other social media platform, or whether it's going out there and starting something like a vlog or a podcast or a blog. It doesn't matter. But look at your top 2, and those are the ones you want to be continuing with for the rest of Q1, okay? Just to make your life easier, so we get rid of some of this overwhelm that's going around the online space. And then finally, life goals. So a few weeks ago, I talked about the fact that I don't do New Year's resolutions because I really do. I think that they set me up to fail. Setting those resolutions can really just, it gets into that contrary part of my brain where I'm just like, oh, I'm supposed to run every day. Nah, not happening. So let's look at your life goals. And if you did set New Year's resolutions, or even if they weren't New Year's resolutions, but they were just 2019 goals that you wanted to achieve with your life, did they happen? You know, did you go to the gym every day? Did you get outside for more than 30 minutes? Did you go out and walk your dog? Did you stop arguing with your kids for 10, 15 minutes of the day? Were you actually really nice to your spouse? I failed on that one epically, by the way. If anyone else is thinking that, I'm like, yeah, no. Literally, day 2, I was like, why can you not pack? Why is it so difficult for you to pack in advance? And then felt like a terrible, terrible girlfriend. But look at those life goals. Because a lot of the time when we're in this haze of new year, new start, it's really easy to set goals that we're not going to be able to sustain for the rest of the year. And sometimes that makes us feel like failures. And it's not that we are failures. It's not that we are inherently lazy, cough, unless you're me. It's not that we don't want to achieve these things. It's that actually sometimes it's really hard to get out of the gate and start immediately as you need to go on. Okay, so sometimes we have to build up to things. Sometimes you're not going to hit the gym every day, but you might have hit it 3 days out of 7, and that is good enough. Okay, so I want you to take a look at those life goals and just make sure that you're not beating yourself up for anything you haven't done every single time, but that you're making sure that you adjust the goal accordingly so it's a bit more sustainable for the rest of the year. I hope that's helped. I am sitting with you on this day, 30th of January, making sure that I have been doing my assessments of January so far and whether there's anything that I need to change or, you know, make a little bit more sustainable for myself. So if you are doing that today, hit me up on Instagram, let me know how you get on. And hopefully I will see you on the webinar tomorrow, 1st of February. Be there or be square. Have a great day, and I will see you on Friday with another extra special guest.